Good evening. My name is David Targett. I am one of the graduate assistants in the Office of Gift Planning, and I have with us today Miss Petrina DiGangi. How are you?
I'm doing well, David. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us. So this is going to be another one of our donor story series interviews. So thank you for joining us. To kind of get us started, I was hoping you could give us a little bit of an introduction and just let the Mcallens know who you are if they don't already know you.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. I have a couple of connections with St. John's University. I am an alum. I received my MBA from St. John's University very proudly in the what was then the College of Business Administration, and MBA in accounting with a minor in tax. I then met many people within the St. John's community, or as I like to refer to them, the St. John's family.
Mhm.
And it is through those connections that I became a member of the Tobin College of Business Alumni Association, was working in an organization where Peter Tobin became my senior manager, got to know Mr. Tobin and Mrs. Tobin, God rest her, very well, and became even more involved with the university, ultimately coming on as an adjunct professor, serving on the board as I said, with the College of Business, Tobin College of Business Alumni Association for many, many years, being president of that organization. And I've seen the St. John's family, and that has kept me and continues to keep me connected to this university and the alumni family that's there. In fact, I even gave an alumni address at graduation one year for Peter Tobin.
Wow. I mean, I was on a call earlier with another one of the Mcallen members, Elizabeth DeFeese, and I kept saying St. John's family, St. John's family, and it's nice to hear it come out of like your mouth as well, because it just shows that you're not just alumni, there is really a St. John's family, and especially I feel like in New York as well, like there's a really strong alumni network in New York that a lot of students get to take advantage of. Um,
Yeah.
and so we were, we
And,
were talk-
and I'm sorry, and I think as I found when I did this one event, there's a St. John's family around the world,
Mhm.
and it is there is such name recognition and such pride when you mention St. John's,
Mhm.
that relationship immediately comes out among people.
Right. And the great thing is the St. John's family keeps growing. I think when I went to the graduation for the class of 2019, I believe they said they're over 190,000 alumni now, which
Not
is
surprised.
it's amazing.
Not surprised.
So we were talking before this. You mentioned that you didn't actually do your undergrad at St. John's.
No, I did not.
Where did you do your undergrad?
I did my undergrad at Iona College,
Oh, so New
New
York
Rochelle.
still.
Yep.
So
Yes.
you,
Yeah. I did stay local. Going away to college was not an option for my family,
Mhm.
so I did stay local. I did look at St. John's, but I will share with you at that point in time when I came to campus, I was just so overwhelmed, and I thought the campus was so huge. And I looked at my mother and said, I'm going to get lost here. And she said, took the subway to high school in Manhattan. You live in Queens. What do you mean? I'm scared, Mom. I'm just no. And when
Mhm.
I went to Iona, Iona was more compact.
Right.
Um, and then surprisingly, when I came back from my MBA and I got to know the university more, I said, well, it's big. And
Mhm.
it is definitely changed with all the new buildings and everything that have been put up since the time that I went there as a graduate student. And I sit back sometimes and go, and why didn't I come here? Why did I think I was going to get lost here?
Yeah.
But as a high school junior starting to look at colleges, your perception of things is a little bit different than they are now.
Well, I'm glad you got to make the trip from what New Rochelle is where Iona is
That Iona was in
down,
New Rochelle, even though I grew up in Queens, I went over a bridge.
and then you made the trip back to Queens
Yes,
eventually.
yes.
So you got your MBA in accounting with a minor in tax.
Tax. Yep.
Um, so what did you what direction did you end up going after you finished your MBA?
Well, ironically, I mean, I was doing my MBA part time. I was blessed to work for a firm that was willing to pay for my master's degree.
Awesome.
But I did have to work and go to school at the same time.
Mhm.
And I think that was one thing that I loved about St. John's, that even back then they offered those options and that opportunity for students so that you could pursue a degree, be it undergraduate or graduate, and still be able to work at the same time.
Right.
So I was working in the corporate controller's office of what was then Chase Manhattan Bank. Having done my undergraduate degree in finance, I thought that accounting was the right path and a good balance.
Mhm.
And of course, you had your other classes along with it. So I was fortunate to get my degree in accounting. I had an interest in tax, and I was working my way through the kind of the CFO's office
Mm.
of what ultimately became JP Morgan Chase. So as I said, I was blessed to have them pay for my master's degree. My career started advancing in that finance division, so that I ultimately ended up in a position where I was the CFO of their corporate marketing and communications division. Hence the marketing influence that came into my life. So it wasn't just marketing from education, but marketing from my career, which is still in education.
Right.
So then when I was serving as an alum, as a board member of the Alumni Association, I got to know people in the marketing department, and they asked me to serve on the advisory board. And then they subsequently asked me to teach marketing. And I went, I have an undergrad in finance and a graduate degree in accounting. And they said, yes, but you understand marketing, and I think you can teach it. And I went, okay, tell me what I need to teach and let's take a look. And it has been, I think I've been teaching since 2012.
Mhm.
It's been a wonderful experience. I'm teaching a brand new course this semester to the school, socially responsible marketing, which ties into where my career is now, which is in the not-for-profit sector. And it's great students. I've had great students all along that I've taught at St. John's. And it's been a great experience.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't have I'm a business major, and I'm now doing my master's in international business. I didn't get the opportunity to take a class with you. But I know that all the professors here are fantastic, and I haven't had a bad experience with any of them.
Right.
And I just wanted to bring up, so you're teaching socially conscious marketing.
Socially responsible marketing.
Socially responsible marketing.
Right,
And I think that's something that interests me because I don't know, I feel like you see a whole, especially with like the new generation of consumers, it's almost like a staple for them to have or to know what they are buying and who they are buying from are being socially responsible, whether it's ethically or like environmentally. So I just think that is a super interesting topic. And if any students happen to come across this video, I highly recommend you take this class.
I would share with you that the impetus for the marketing department to put this class forward is exactly that. And I think, I have many friends who are teaching in the accounting department and in the marketing department. The Tobin School is where I have my most, where my knowledge base is.
Mhm.
And what I find, in which it's what keeps me connected to St. John's, is that the Tobin College, and I see clearly across the other colleges at the school, they are very, very aware of what is going on in the world and what the students need. So they are forever looking at new ideas, new ways of teaching the St. John student and preparing them for the future that they're going to live in.
Right. And this just all goes back to why St. John's is such a great university. And it's because they're almost being proactive rather than reactive to the trends that we're seeing in the business world, which translate to society as a whole.
Exactly.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Mcallen Society. So when did you become a Mcallen Society member?
I don't remember. I'm being perfectly honest with you. I don't remember. I think probably when I joined the faculty.
Okay.
That was probably when, because at that point, keeping in mind, I don't remember how many years Mcallen has been around. And I don't exactly remember when the Mcallen Society actually started. Certainly not 150 years ago when the school first started. But I know that as an employee, I found out more about the Mcallen Society, and I thought, well, yeah, I want to give back to St. John's, and you know, and I've stayed with it because it just says to me, you know, I think as we move on in life, we begin to recognize all those people and institutions and organizations that built who we are and got us to where we are, not just in our career, but as people.
Right.
And I think St. John's with the Vincentian mission, it really instills in you a dedication to giving back, to an organization that supported you, and to help those who come after you, because someone helped you.
Right.
And what better opportunity to give back, to return that favor, and
Right.
to say thank you, pay it forward.
Exactly. And that's exactly what Elizabeth DeFeast was telling me this morning when I hopped on the call with about this. She talked about paying it forward.
Right.
And I think oftentimes, definitely amongst the student body, and I was guilty of it as well, I don't think the students oftentimes realize where the scholarship funds come from. And I think it's they don't understand how important the Mcallen Society is, and the generosity that members like you have and paying it forward back to the university. Because without the generosity of the Mcallen Society, many students like myself and many of my friends would not have the opportunity to receive the life education, the everything that St. John's provides to its students that
Right.
you have spoken about for the past 10 minutes about what makes St. John's so great. The Mcallen Society is able to provide students that opportunity to experience what you did. And I think that it's a shame I didn't know about it earlier, but I think it's something that I feel like students should be aware of as well.
What I would share with you is, I think as a college student, as an undergrad, your focus is not on where the money comes from. Your focus is, I'm here, I'm dedicated to getting my degree, to doing well in my classes, and whatever support I can get, because, you know, we know we all come from, you know, not everyone is born with a trust fund, you know, that their parents can say, here, pay for your college education. And I think to give the opportunity to a bright-eyed student is a huge blessing to me and to any Mcallen member that you talk to. But as a college student, you don't recognize that, because that's not where your focus is.
Right.
When I gave the alumni address at graduation, I spoke about using your diploma as an invitation, because I think when you graduate, you get your diploma, and I said to the students, you know, congratulate each other, but don't take this diploma and look at it as a get out of jail card. Don't drive off campus on Union Turnpike or Utopia Parkway and never look in the rearview mirror. Use your diploma as an invitation to stay connected to the family that is St. John's. And I kind of explained to them my entry into the St. John's family. And I said, look, how cool is it that I'm standing in front of you today and I can put on my resume that I gave the alumni address? And this is when we were doing graduation in Carnesecca. And there was still a lot of people to talk in front of, but how cool is that? And I've learned throughout my career, many times when I've gone on interviews and I've met people, they see that on my resume and they go, wow, how did that happen? And that happened because of the St. John's family, because I got to know that family, and I networked. And it's so critically important. And I tell my students, you know, granted now with COVID, it's a little difficult, but I tell my students time and time again, if we are at a networking event and you see me, hopefully I will remember your name, but there's a possibility that I won't. But please, if I am speaking with the speaker or someone else from the panel and you want to be introduced, do not hesitate to ask me to introduce you, because that that is the one thing about St. John's that stands out. Alumni will help a student in a heartbeat. And it's not just writing a check, it's making those introductions. It's coming back to talk in class and do panel discussions and coach students and gives job opportunities and internship opportunities. It is that family. It's
Right.
the same way an uncle will treat, not beyond a parent treating a child. It's the same way an uncle or an aunt would treat their nieces and nephews. It's family. You help each other. And that's I think is the one thing that is so important at St. John's, and just the shining star of St. John's.
Right. And I really liked what you said about how using your diploma as an invitation. I think that is a very spot on phrase to, I guess, to describe the St. John's family and stuff.
Thank you.
And then, I mean, everything you said is kind of, I think I kind of misworded myself when I was talking. I think what I meant to say is, now that I realized the impact that like the Mcallen Society has had on me during my 4 years, it makes me want to become a Mcallen Society member when the time is right. Of course, it's down the road for me, being that I'm still in school, but everything that you said, it's like reassuring to know that you guys feel this like this proud to be a Mcallen member and to provide these students with an opportunity that they may not have had otherwise. So on that note, I just wanted to say thank you again for joining us today. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sure your fellow Mcallens will enjoy it as well.
Wonderful, David. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. If there's anything else, you know how to reach me.
Of
And
course.
I'm more than happy at any time to help St. John's.
Awesome. All right. Thank you again.
Fabulous. You're welcome.